Good morning. I'm here today with Merel van der Wouden,
Morning.
and she's a negotiation coach for women.
Yes.
And well, I have so many questions, so um,
Let's get it started. Yeah.
so can you explain what you do?
Yeah. So I started my business out of a women empowerment idea of closing the wage gap and giving power and confidence back to women. So I coach women the strategies to get better salaries and better fees when they're negotiating. So to help them getting what they want or what they negotiate, what they deserve, what they're worth. Yeah.
Okay. And I think we've all heard about the income gap between men and women, and especially also different racial differences as well.
Yes.
Whether you're a white woman or Asian or
Yes.
black.
Unfortunately, yeah, there's a big difference between white men, white women, but also like Hispanic women, or Latino women, or like Asian. There's a big difference. So, I just really wanna help as much as possible by coaching at least the strategies and giving back like the confidence to women so they know what they're worth and at least they can sit on the table and ask in the best way they can, so we can really try to close the gap.
So you normally start with, when you coach someone, you will start with, okay, what are you worth?
Yes.
And how do you communicate what you're worth?
Yes. Yeah, that's the biggest, that's one of the biggest things. And first I question them, of course, about, what they do with work, and where they think they put value in the company. And that's already a question where a lot of women say, oh, I don't really know what my qualities are, or if I don't really know where I'm really good at. I know I'm good at my job, but how I really add value, that's sometimes a tough question they cannot really answer. And I know women can add a lot of value because they have different qualities than men. And I think like a good company or like good business is really valuable when women and men come together because you have all the qualities combined. So discussing what they're worth is also a really big part of your confidence, like knowing what you're worth and really feeling that and putting it out there to different things. You have a lot of like tools online where you can have like a salary report, for example, like okay, where are you based, what's your job title, for example, or what are your main tasks, what's your role, to who do you report. So you have like this number, this figure rolling out, like you should be worth something like this. But then you have this other side where women really have to feel they're worth that. So I really start discussing with them, like, what do you think you can do the best, or what do you value, or when you do this, what do you think that will have kind of influence in the company, like the bigger picture. Because sometimes women don't see that they add so much value to the bigger picture. They just think they do their job and it's good, but they add so much value to the bigger picture, to the company. So yeah, that's what we really discuss. Like,
and how do you find out what value you add, and how do you guide women in this?
Yeah, it's really like communication. Like I have to ask a lot of questions. So that's how it really starts. With like, what did you do before? What did you study? And with how do you communicate? Do you have like a leadership role, or are you coaching people, or do you have a coach? How do you communicate with that person? Do you ever take like new responsibilities on you, or like do you want to grow into a new role and do you ask for it, or do you wait until maybe someone in a leadership role is asking you to get a promotion, or are you always working towards promotion? So it's really it's a lot of questioning and identifying where their values are, because a lot of times they don't see how much value they really add.
And how do you work with women on feeling inside of them that actually they are worth more than what they're asking right now?
First of all, is really showing them like the figure. When I use the tool, it's called PayScale, and it's a great tool. It's like a database of 45 million profiles of people who work globally. So we put in all the information, it's pretty specific, and you see that a figure rolls out, and a lot of times women are almost in shock that, whoa, is this what I can earn? It's like, yeah, this is what you're worth. So it's again a lot of communication and trying to, how do you say, identify or feel that they understand that this is really what they're doing. And also, a lot of times I talk with them about when they go into negotiations. A lot of women feel they feel they're not equal partners, and a lot of times that happens. But a lot of times you are equal partners because, for example, if you're going to apply for a job, the employer really wants someone who's good in a job, and the employee really wants the job. So it's like sort of like a win-win situation. But a lot of employees feel like, oh, this is the employer and he's really strong. And I always try to like change that mindset into, you have a lot of values and you can make this company so much better by working for them. And I think you really have to change the mindset that they're unequal. I when I go into negotiations, I feel a lot of times equal. Women bring a lot to the table, and they have to realize that. So it's just a process of communicating and sharing that knowledge with them. And a lot of times, my coaches say, "Oh, I didn't really think about it like that. I always thought my employer was here, and that's what he wants. That's going to happen." I'm like, "No, it's not like that. You can bring in a lot, and you can make suggestions." And I think a lot of times negotiations are also about like finding solutions which are good for both parties. It's not necessarily one is going to win and one is going to lose. I really think that's not a great way of negotiating. You should find like a solution which is good for both. So that's how I try to like talk to them and show them and ask them questions. Yeah, that's how I try to do it.
Okay. And as an employer, how do you think that you can help women within your company to feel better about themselves and to actually realize that they are worth so much?
Yeah.
For business.
Yeah, I think it's really important that men play a role as well. Like both women and men have to work on this. I think a really important part is a mentor or a coach, and it would be great if it could be a man. So that men coach women, because we're different and they are still a lot of times in these leadership positions. So if they've done research, if women at a younger age don't have the access to mentor and coaches which are in the higher roles or like in management level, a lot of times when promotions are coming, the people who have like coaches and mentors in the leadership roles, they will most probably promote their mentees. So men should really stand up and coach the women on like leadership roles or like what are you worth, what can you do. So I really think it should be an active role within the company. I was really fortunate when I worked in my company. I worked directly with one of the managers, and he was really pro getting women into like the management roles, and he always gave me the confidence that I could do things even though I thought it was scary. He would put me on the spot like 5 minutes before we would go into like a client meeting. He would say, okay, you can present this part of it, and it would be so scary, but I would still do it. And then after that it gives you so much confidence. And even when he says, oh, you did amazing. So men also should really see the value of women and also support them, because a lot of men, they step up, but women don't really step up. So men have to help other women to step up. Like, okay, I'll do this. I'll take the role, or I take the initiative, because a lot of times we take less initiatives.
Yeah. And I assume the same counts for women in more senior positions.
Yes, yeah. So we have just less role models, which is also not good, of course. So the more women we have in as role models, the better it is to showcase that women can make you work, like can make it to the top as well, and you can see yourself there. Because if you always see those white men with like gray suits, you cannot really identify yourself. And I really think that if you can bring your whole self to work, it's so much better. It adds so much more value. So more women in leadership roles who are also promoting women, that would be great. Yeah. Do you have a lot of women in your company?
Yes, so we're a women-owned business, and well, I think most of our employees are women. So we have one male photographer, we have the silver and goldsmiths are men, and we have male guards, and pretty much everyone else is are female.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But I also do notice within our business we've had a few cases where, for example, I've offered someone a salary raise. Like, no, it's not necessary. It's like, a man would never ever do this.
Yes.
And we've had, I recently offered promotion to a new position to one of our staff members. And I gave her some time to think about it, and when she got back to me, she said, well, no, I won't be taking it. So I asked her, why? Why would you not take this opportunity? Because I think it's really great for you, and it will help you grow into the career path that we've discussed when I hired her. And it ended up that she just did not feel like she was so afraid of failure.
Yeah.
And she was so afraid that she would not yet be perfect from the start. Whereas as an employer, I saw it as an opportunity for her to grow into this role, because in her daily work I can see that she's up for it and that she's growing in the task that she's doing now. So I can see her growing into this position. So that was also something for me, like, oh, okay. Actually, I thought that as a women-owned business, we were doing a good job of helping other women within the company to feel more empowered. But actually, it's something that we do still continuously need to work on.
Yeah. No, but I think it's great that you identify and you're giving the confidence to your new employees and saying you can grow into a role. Because if you look into like the statistics, it's really interesting. For example, if they're like, if there's a job position open, a man will apply when he, let's say on average, only can do 50% of the job, and he believes he can grow into the other 50%. And a lot of women only will apply for the job when they're close to 80, 90 to 100% of all the qualifications of the job. And that's such a difference as well, which has to do with confidence and knowing what you're worth. So, you know, if you identify already the qualities of your employees and help them to understand that they can grow into a role, that's amazing for us, for women. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for anyone watching this now of how they can get their feelings of what their work closer to their actual work?
Yeah, I think you have to start with really like writing down like what are you doing on a day-to-day basis, for example, and what kind of influence does that have on the bigger picture within the company. Because sometimes women say, oh, I'm just in a support role. No, don't say that. You're in a support role, which is really important, just like all the other roles, because a company is just all the roles together from the company. It's not that one role is more important than the other role. So write it down, what you're doing, what's the bigger picture, and really also write down what you maybe already have accomplished in the last year, because a lot of times you forget. Most probably 2 years ago you were thinking, oh, if I ever do that, I feel really accomplished. But nowadays you might have accomplished it already, but you already feel you want more. But you have to really understand and see for yourself what you have accomplished and see what you're worth, because sometimes we don't really realize that now, like being grateful what you've already done. So write it down, see the bigger picture, and maybe ask also for mentorship or coaching, or ask for extra training. And I think it's okay to ask questions and to say, I don't know this yet, but I will find out, or I would like to get to know more, and I would like to know more in this field. Maybe I can talk to someone within my company and I can get a training. Like, see where you can add more value. I think these are the biggest steps. And then the confidence part is just talk about it with other people. Maybe ask a direct colleague from, what do you really think? What kind of value do I add to the company? Or ask it from a different perspective. have a really good conversation maybe with your coach or with your mentor. Like, ask what you're doing really good, ask where you can improve as well. And then,
so don't only rely on your own thoughts, but get some external.
oh, for
input
sure,
as well.
yes. And what I always recommend is get like a salary report. So really create objective criteria. Plus, ask someone else within a company or someone who maybe works in an HR role or someone who works in a same company in the same role. Discuss some things. Just ask what they're doing. What's their input? What are their main tasks? How do they think they add value? So it's yourself, maybe your surroundings, and then the objective criteria, and that's all makes the bigger picture. And based on that, you can really know what you're worth, and then feel it and believe in it. Yeah,
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
For all your advice and for sharing what you do.
Thank you so much.
And I hope that if you're watching this, that you got some helpful tips today as well. And well, I think we should keep an eye out on Merel because she'll soon be launching a course for women on how to negotiate.
Yes, how to successfully negotiate. Yeah, better salaries and fees. Yeah, and thanks for doing this for all the other women in your company. It's amazing you're sponsoring all the women and getting like a lot of women in your company. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.